Well, appreciating the contributions of the youth to societal growth was the talk for most of last week at different events marking the International Youth Day. Nigeria wasn't an exception. In one of those gatherings, former President Olusegun Obasanjo said the Nigerian youth should take action and not expect political power to be handed to them on a platter of gold. In another event, this time by the United Nations Information Center, in collaboration with strategy and mentoring as well as leadership empowerment, young people's contributions to social justice and sustainable peace was highlighted. Well, let's talk more about youth impact and how to enlarge the conversation around their responsibility to the country. With us in the studio is a youth activist, Ibrahim Fatoyinbo. Thanks a lot, Ibrahim, for joining us again.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
In one of those gatherings, it was noted that the youth creativity, youth talent, the resourcefulness is Nigeria's, major wealth and not just its natural resources. How do we draw context from that now? Are we harnessing the youth's creativity enough?
Well, apparently no, we are not really harnessing it to the best of their ability, because Nigerian youth, we are very vibrant and we are performing tremendously well, even though outside of our country. However, I don't really know what's really happening, that the governments are not really exploring and harnessing the talent of the youth to the fullest. So I felt like it's not really harnessed to the fullest.
Right. And talking about youth empowerment now, the National Assembly has finally passed the bill or decided to lower the age for applying for key positions, What are the chances of this bill across the states?
Well, Nigeria is just a very interesting country to be. While we are celebrating the National Assembly passing to 25, Uganda, they have entrenched it in their constitution that about 10 youth must always occupy seats there. Passing it in the states we have to start canvassing our representative at the lower level, but we have to do a lot of work to canvass them, going to our constituency to urge them that when this bill comes to us, please let's pass them and hold them responsible. So because the youth now, we are active and we are aware and we are politically involved right now. So I think we can canvass from the grassroots level to speak to our representative to please pass the bill and to acknowledge it.
Right, but that means you're therefore supporting former President Olusegun Obasanjo's narrative over the weekend, where he said, don't expect leadership to be presented to you on a platter of gold. Go out, do your work, and force the older people out of office.
Yes, I quite agree with, because I was a politician while I was in school, and I'm still a politician. We need to stand up and fight. We can't just sit down and be complacent and believing that they are going to do everything for us. We have to call ourselves and harness our strength, and we have to get the power from those people we think we are not comfortable. I think we have to be reorientated as a youth, because it's very important, because we are very docile. I have to be frank with you there. All we can do is just to chat, to send message on Twitter, but who comes first? When it comes to protest, you see people coming out. You will never see that youth that are really concerned, like they are willing or paid youth. But to be honest with you, Nigerian youth, we are so fantastic that if we just come together, and we can definitely get this power from them. It's very easy. It's just, we have everything. We have 1.8 billion youth in the world. And Nigeria, anything that politically people who are voting, we are there. It's just for us to come together and just harness.
But do we have the money?
Yeah, borrowing your term, the youths being docile now, they are being described as critical actors in conflict prevention and sustaining peace. But can these present millennials live up to this?
But apparently, sure, we can. It's just a structural challenge. I think when we look at the university, the institution, I go to schools from secondary school to speak to them, to take charge of their lives. It's very important, but our culture is really affecting our orientation so much. Yes, we can take charge.
What's this culture?
The culture of, okay, be careful of this, okay, you need to fend for this, the pressure, even though on the parent. Why do we have all this illicit and ill attitude about Yahoo and all sorts of things? They compare, parents put pressure on them. Look at your mate is doing this, what are you doing? And this pressure is too much on the youth, and they don't have any other thing than to just go outside to say let them involve in kidnapping. If you look at people who are involved in kidnapping, they are good guys, but when you ask them, they'll say there's no job. Yes.
But you're not advocating for crime. Crime is not an option.
No. I'm not advocating for. I'm just saying that we need to do a kind of restructuring, that we need to harness and channel their strength towards another area.
Which brings us to another issue of money. With this support and endorsement that many people are giving, you know, the youth, go out, take action, you know, don't just sit down in your corners now. But then there's the issue of money, especially where elections are concerned. Now, what options are you looking at? How political parties, you know, the financial implications of you know, contesting, even in the political parties, what options do the youth have?
Well, I think we have so much option. I think I was in a gathering with Involve Africa, a colleague of mine organized the program, and I was there with Dio Israel, and he said something as a young person contesting for the post of chairmanship, and he has to pay like 500,000 naira plus. I asked myself, yes, not too young to run, but do you have that money? But we are broke. But we have strategy as a youth. We can do crowdfunding. We send text messages, we call our girlfriends, we call so many people, we recharge our phone, we subscribe. Therefore, if the youth in Nigeria could just say, okay, we want to support this candidate with 10 naira, for example, I think it goes a long way. So we can come up with strategy and we will perform tremendously well. I'm very optimistic about Nigerian youth taking over very, very soon.
Well, talking about taking over, how do we, first of all, guarantee a social inclusion with them?
Social inclusion starting from the secondary school. Coming to university, I was involved politically while I was in school. I realized that what Nigerian youth, they are carried away and they are being, let permit to say, being disturbed and destroyed by the media. What they are being exposed to, they want microwave success. They don't know that success is a gradual process and self-development is key. We can't just shout that we want to take over. You need to examine yourself. Someone once said a man went to the continent and said he wanted to change the world. They said, go to your country. When he got to your country, they said, go to your state. When he got to his state, they said, go to your home. And when he got home, they said, have you changed something about yourself too? Right. So it's a thing about self-development. If you really, really want to, we really need to improve ourselves. It's not too much for us to empty our wallet in our health to go for self-development and train ourselves. To be honest with you, Nigerian youth, we are very interesting. We are the level at which we are very creative is huge, but the challenge is there. But these challenges are not things that can never be surmounted. It can and it will be surmounted very soon. Well, reorientation is just key.
Ibrahim Fatoyinbo, youth activist, thank you for being here, sharing your thoughts on this commemoration of the International Youth Day.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.